Galápagos representa.
Galapagos is one of the last protected areas in the world, filled with biologic diversity that is better preserved. It is really a jewel, a living laboratory for the rest of the planet. And I believe the entire world must support its conservation.
Su conservación.
The Galapagos Islands, located 600 miles off the coast of Ecuador, consist of 13 major islands and more than 115 minor islands, extending over 17,000 square miles of ocean. This majestic cluster of islands formed in the bottom of the ocean first broke through millions of years ago. The magnificent diversity of its elevations and its wind patterns have formed 4 different ecosystems, inhabited by a unique flora and fauna exceptionally different from any other in the world. 3/4 of its birds and 97% of its reptiles and mammals are endemic only to this marvelous string of islands. The many species that inhabit these islands have evolved in isolation, making the Galapagos perfect for studies in evolutionary adaptation and sustainable ecosystems. This is why in the 1800s, this unique archipelago was dubbed by the famous Charles Darwin as the living laboratory of evolution.
Here in Galapagos, we can really study, well, what happens when new species arrive in an ecosystem and start to change that ecosystem. How can we influence what happens? How can we manage it? How can we make it sustainable?
One of the main objectives of the Galapagos National Park is directly tied to the protection of the ecosystem, fighting against introduced species on land, and preserving the marine reserve by not allowing industrial fishing activities in the marine reserve area.
The Galapagos National Park Service depends mainly on team members and the ability to perform their teamwork efficiently. In order to achieve these goals and meet their objectives, they need to depend on an effective communication system.
One of the main logistic problems that the Galapagos Islands have faced to improve its administration and daily management of the protected area has always been communication. Many times we don't have communication with people. We don't know what their needs are or what problems they're facing.
Recently, a tuna boat that was illegally fishing inside the marine reserve area was detected by a reconnaissance flight. A patrol boat was sent to intercept, but because of a lack of communications, 2 days went by without any knowledge of the outcome, until they came back with the captured vessel.
The captured boat had a line 6 miles long, filled with sharks, turtles, and manta rays that were on hooks. We saved many by freeing them alive, but during those 2 days, without communication, no one knew if the patrol boat had been successful, if they had suffered an accident, or if they had been fired upon.
Years ago, Motorola and the WWF agreed that Motorola was going to donate a large amount of money in equipment to many sites around the world.
In 1997, the Galapagos Islands were chosen as one of those sites. The proposal detailed the need for a communication system.
We saw this offer as something hard to obtain, but we said yes. We need this system because we do not have good communication. Soon afterwards, we were told it was going to be approved. And from then on, we have been working hand in hand with Motorola and with the World Wildlife Fund so that this can be a reality.
The installation of the communication system was not easy. The equipment had to be transported with infinite care, at times upon the shoulders of the workers.
They have risked their lives in putting those towers together, each stage on top of each other, without too much of a security or too much of a concern about their personal well-being.
The emotion is truly heartfelt because for us, this system is a great work tool, essential to improve our work in the conservation of Galapagos.
The needs of the Galapagos National Park are extremely unique given the singularities of its fascinating environment. That is why Motorola custom designed a communication system that not only meets all their specific communications requirements, but affords them an effective solution. Upon the establishment of new inspection and quarantine procedures for the detection of introduced species, this communication system becomes essential.
Before this system, things were difficult. A group of park rangers would go off into the field for 15 to 30 days. We didn't know what was going on. We would learn about their situation from our supply boat by making frequent trips. Many times there were accidents. Many times the work was done without any coordination. Now things are going to get better. Conditions will be optimum with the excellent communication we are going to have now with Motorola's system. It is definitely something that provides us with a lot of support. It gives us a lot of incentive to keep going. This is a donation with very high value. We could never have achieved it by our own means, and it is going to be a tremendous help.
The Galapagos National Park Service has dreamed for many years of being able to communicate, to be able to offer a good service. Now, with the commitment of many people at the Galapagos National Park and the help of Motorola and the WWF, this dream has become a reality.
I believe that Motorola, as well as the World Wildlife Fund, deserve special recognition. They're supporting the conservation of this world treasure.